Hi, it's Mark. I made a note for myself today of the topic I wanted to cover in this talk, which was to make a case. Now, we've all heard that term, to make a case, like a lawyer makes a case in a courtroom, or a politician makes a case on a stump speech saying, vote for me because. But I think we make a case every day in so many parts of our lives. We make a case for somebody to be our friend. Be my friend, and here's why. Or, sorry, I'm adjusting that. Or we make a case for somebody, be my client, and here's why. Here's how I'll serve you better than my competitor. Make a case to read my book if somebody's, pushing the book. Why is what they have to offer better than the many other choices that are out there? Which thinking got me into this narrower view. In a world of so many choices, how can we expect anyone to choose us when there are so many other products, services, people, potential friends available? They can have the pick of anybody. So why me? Why pick me? And the converse is true. When I'm picking a supplier of product A, or a restaurant to go to, a store to shop in, a website to go looking for information, a search engine to use, all of these things, we have many choices to make. And most of us choose from very narrow few. We go to Google or we go to Amazon because they're the biggest, quickest to access, the ones we're most familiar with, and they seem to have the most stuff. Google has the most information and the most popular search engine. So why use anyone else's search engine? And they get into a bit of a monopoly. They're not the only ones in the game. They're just the one most of us use most of the time as our default. We use Amazon as our online shopping source as our most common default. In fact, they're so popular that most other online vendors sell their goods also through Amazon, or exclusively through Amazon, because they're the biggest, quickest, easiest place to get to. And when I think back to my early days in business as a retailer, I worked for an independent store. We had chain stores in shopping malls, and all those shopping malls were anchored by a department store. And then my career moved to work for a department store, where even more powerfully, you realize that if you were the biggest place that was quickest and easiest to get to, you got more business than everybody else. But when we get into the micro part of relationships, business relationships, do I want to be all things to all people? Or do I want someone to be all things to me? I don't think so. I think there we make the better case for personal connection. Someone who can know us, we can know them. Aren't we going to do better work if we get specific and we drill down for facts, for information, for motivation, for knowing someone, whether it's knowing the client really well and therefore delivering goods or services that meet their needs, or knowing our friend really well and having them know us well? Don't we have a better relationship then when we're closer? I think we do. So the case I make today is not one of be an invisible commodity or product like everybody else and be same, be like others so that you'll fit in, but rather the case for no, be different, be unique, be yourself. Not everybody wants you, but the people who want you will really want you because you're not the generic thing they found on Google or Amazon. You're not like all the others. You're not at the biggest place that's quickest and easiest to get to. You might be the most difficult to get with or the most difficult to deal with. But if they want the very heart of you, dedicated to the problem or the solution or the relationship that is going to matter, that's going to help them make well-informed decisions, well, then we need to do that, don't we? And isn't the same true when we're dealing with friends or family? Interpersonal relationships, it's got nothing to do with trade and commerce, it just has to do with the trade in civility, the trade in integrity, the trade in kindness and caring and friendship and mattering to someone and they matter to you. And I think too often we carry a lot of people on the bench. They're not first stringers, but they're people we sort of hang out with. We sort of keep a relationship with them. It's not real close, but it's not real far away either. They're the backup team. They're the go-to when the regular go-to is not available. I think we need to examine those as well. Let's either make them first stringers, first priority relationships, or recognize that they're not good reciprocal relationships. They're people who serve a purpose when it's convenient, and the rest of the time they're there to ignore. But we have people who matter. We need to remind them how much they matter. And if someone matters to us, we need to matter to them. That's a two-way reciprocal thing. I'll talk about that more another day. But today, I make the case for being special, for being unique. Don't try to be in the top 10 searches on Google, because you'll never be there in a credible way, because the big guys are there with the big budgets to be there. And most people don't Google, find my friend Joe, find my friend Sally. We don't need a search engine for that. We need a smile for that. We need a handshake for that. We need a hug for that. We need a phone call for that. We need a personal visit for that. Let's make the case for being special to others. And in so doing, others will become more special to us. So whatever you're doing, whatever it is, large or small, at work or at play, at home or at the office, the quality of those relationships we build because we are unique and we care and we drill down to find out how we can best be of value to someone, and we open ourselves up for them to drill down to find out how we can best be of value to them. We can make a case for that. As for taking on the world with a singular idea, I just don't know if that works. We've been witnessing it, sort of a postscript to my point. We've been witnessing it this past couple of weeks with COP26, trying to get all the countries of the world to agree on anything. And this is, fostered by the United Nations, but take it 190 countries or 207 or whatever the number of countries are this week, can't get them to agree on a single strategy to fix something that's potentially catastrophic for the planet. And similarly, COVID-19, I'd like somebody to make a case to get everybody on the same page to solve these problems with unified action and coordinated action amongst countries and governments and jurisdictions. But the human beings don't seem to have that figured out yet. Maybe a few hundred years from now, we'll get it right. So for now, let's make the case for solving big problems by being small, being individuals who work with individuals, whether it's figuring out how we can meet for lunch, or whether it's how we can help each other with a problem, how we can listen to one another, talk to one another. Let's solve our own problems in our own backyard before we go running around the world, waving a flag and thumping our chests that everybody else should try to solve problems in their backyard in our way. Let's lead with personal example of what we do in our life and Some people will copy us and follow us. Some will find us out. They'll seek us out. Meanwhile, I'm going to wrap up. Make a case for what's important to you and let the rest of the world worry about the rest of the world. First, focus on your own situation. So that's it for me. My name is Mark Kolke. I'm wrapping up now. Have a good day. Bye-bye.